There aren't enough people in our community texting. If you're coming in, if you're a member right now and you're not texting, like really look into it. We'll improve our education around it. I think that's key for sure.
Budget cannot be an excuse here. Obviously, you need a little bit of a base, but the cool thing about texting and cold calling is, this business model opens up to everyone else who doesn't have 5 to 10 grand to mail. And that's why I love it. And now there's more and more people doing this type of stuff.
One of my coaching students actually is like, hey, I'm a teacher right now. I'm on break. I'm comfortable being on the phones. I want to talk to as many people as possible. I just want to text. I was like, you're perfect for texting. We're going to do cold texting. Let's strategize. Let's build that out. He's got like 3 or 4 deals right now in the pipeline that he's moving forward with.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Real Estate Investing Podcast. Today's topic, we're talking about scaling your land business through texting. I'm your host, Daniel Apke. Today I'm joined again with Anthony and my brother and business partner, Ron Apke. Welcome, guys.
Happy to be here. Happy to talk about this one.
For sure. And texting's one of those things, go back 16 months, we didn't have it.
Yep.
It's not that we didn't have it. People weren't using it in the land game. Fast forward to today, you got to be texting. Like we push that. Yeah. We tell people that. We're like, get your 10 DLRC, whatever it is, up and because you got to text. It's another way to reach a mass amount of people for not that much more money, and that's why it's so great.
Yeah, and the results speak for themselves too. I mean, like you said, like 16 months ago, it wasn't really something we're doing, but just how involved our community is and just what they're saying, it's like, oh, we should look into this. And we were seeing the results from people, and then, just the results speak for themselves. I'm excited to talk about it.
What do you think changed? Do you think it's just because mail got more competitive?
I think texting more so than mail being more competitive. I think it's a combination, but multiple touch points is a really important thing with just sales in general. So you send a piece of mail, you send a follow-up text, all that stuff's really important. And I think that's why people are getting so many more deals with texting now.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's not that it didn't work 16 months ago. It's just mail was so efficient, so effective, easy. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, we were getting a deal per every 1,500 mailers, stuff like that. And I'm not saying you can't do that in certain areas and with your strategies. Things are changing though. That's why we're named land investing, not land flipping. Like as things change, as more subdivides are happening, more little improvements are happening. We're building ponds. We're doing crazy things to the land to get more money, to really, beat out the competition essentially. So things are going to constantly change. And I think this is another one of those minor little changes. I mean, the fact that people weren't texting and cold calling and doing these things is really mind-blowing. But you're going to go where the least resistance is. So if you can do it one way that's easier, not the other way, makes sense.
I like texting so much because it's so much system-based. And you can be efficient with texting as far as time, all that stuff. Yeah. With a VA, with one person, whatever it is. Mail is extremely efficient, obviously, but it's way more expensive. But texting is so efficient, so system dependent. If your systems are broken, you're going to be texting people back all day long. You're not going to be disqualifying people who should be disqualified. Where Landon, one of our students, is sending out 50,000 texts a month. If you don't have your systems in place, you have no chance. Wow. And he's also doing 10 to 15,000 mailers, I think. Oh, you weren't in the call
cold
last
calling.
night. Yeah, he's doing 50,000 right now a month.
Yeah, no, I said
he's getting 2 to 4 deals.
That was in the YouTube, or I saw that somewhere.
He's getting 2 to 4 deals a month from texting alone right now, plus all his mail deals. So just seeing people be successful, it's because he built out the front end system now.
And what you're saying too, from an efficiency standpoint, I totally agree, because there's people that I talk to. It's like, okay, well, I'm a little tight on capital, and for launch control, who we use, it's like $500 a month for 10,000 messages. You could test out a market, or if a county did well, it's like, well, I don't really want to retarget it with mail. You could just drop them into a texting sequence, and you could just retarget them. It just, from a scalability standpoint, I think it's just much more efficient. But like we talk about, a blended approach, like mail is still tried and true. We're not saying stop doing mail. It's just doing that blended approach. That's what's taking people to the next level right now. Yeah,
and the blended approach for us right now, we're talking about texting, but it could look at like cold calling, mail, PPC. I talked to Ben O yesterday, and he said his profits for September that he's closing on the disposition side, the sales side, he said it's over 50,000. He said PPC is really taking off for him. And he has a tech background. He's doing all that. And I was asking about his business a little bit, but that's just like I'm not saying go out and do PPC right away, especially if you don't know that side. If you have that background, and like it would be fairly easy for someone who had an e-commerce business, like that wouldn't be hard for me to set up or anything. But if you've never been involved in that game, that's a whole nother thing. So I'm not saying go, but like that, what I'm trying to say here is there are just so many different avenues to go down now. Yeah. And the more you can, separate yourself from the competition, the better.
And we're very open to all those different avenues, I think, where some might be set on like, you got to do this business through mail or through X, whatever it is. Like there's so many different ways to make money, and we're so interested in learning all the different strategies, like just having a conversation with someone about PPC. That's awesome. Yeah, you can do this business in so many different ways. There's so many different combination of touch points where you can get deals from them. And I think that's one of the coolest things. There's so many different strategies that are helping. People are testing things. We're testing things. And deals are just coming in so many different ways.
What are you seeing from a texting perspective with your, because Anthony's one of our head coaches over here, and he has a ton of people that are coaching, one-on-one coaching with you. What are you seeing from them?
A lot of texting follow-up seems to be kind of the bread and butter that works the best. Cold texting can work operationally, though. It's just going to be a real pain in the ass, in my opinion. And that's just based off my experience as well, too. More so of a neutral letter, you're talking to a lot of people. But with the follow-up, too, like, I think it just makes it more efficient. But follow-up with text messaging, I think that seems to be really the key. And that's what we're seeing with success right now.
I'm still thinking about 50,000 texts going out that Landon's doing with all those mailers too.
He's got a team in place
the
too. Operationally,
he's
dialed in operationally.
That's big time though.
Yeah.
And that's getting them 2 to 4 deals consistently a month.
Right. And that's why we're saying follow up too, because a lot of people that are in the community, and a lot of people I'm coaching, they're working too. So cold texting operationally, that's going to be a lot harder to manage, right? So texting follow up to mailers is just going to make it a lot more easy for you operationally. At some point, yeah, you can get into cold texting. You can be more strategic. You can definitely scale it. But texting follow-up to mailers is just easier because the pricing's already done on the front end. You already have an idea with the county. You've probably already worked some leads too from the mailer. So that's what makes it so efficient.
Yeah, and then you have the thing like, depending on your budget, cold texting you'll still get deals from. You just need one deal. You send out 50,000 texts and you have systems in place without any mail, you're going to get a deal for as long as you're doing things right. You know what I mean? And if you don't month one, so be it. You spent $500 on launch control. Month 2, you get one. You know what I mean? So you're gonna it's gonna be more work, but you'll get one. So if you have a lower budget, you can look to just text and just cold call. If you have a higher budget, you can look to do both. And then the factor of time comes in. It's like the higher the budget and the less time, mail's better for you without texting. But if you can get your systems in place, high budget, low time, good systems, VA, then you can start texting and stuff. But in general, high budget, low time equals mail. High budget, high time equals mail plus text plus everything else. And then low budget, low time is not for you really, but you can, work with what you have.
Yeah, 100%. It's anyone can really, like, you can save up $500, $700, $1,000. Like, it's not that hard to do. And there's such a long-term play for it, I think. Like, you do that, you send 10,000, 12,000 texts, you're going to get a deal eventually from it if you're learning, if you're doing things the right way, like Dan said. So it's just like putting that initial investment. Texting is a great way. A lot of people have the excuse not getting started in this business because they don't have the money. It's really not that excuse with texting, because everyone can save a little bit of money to get a month's worth of text out, which is going to yield a deal or two, I think.
100%.
No, I completely agree. The whole money thing, like, there's people in the community, they'll skip trace the list and they're just cold call it until they get a deal. And we funded deals of people like that too. So
that's cool.
I mean, with texting too, and I love what you said earlier, Dan, in terms of like, based off of your time or what that looks like. One of my coaching students actually is like, hey, I'm a teacher right now. I'm on break. I'm comfortable being on the phones. I want to talk to as many people as possible.
That's the attitude you should have.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to text. I was like, you're perfect for texting. We're going to do cold texting. Let's strategize. Let's build that out. He's got like 3 or 4 deals right now in the pipeline that he's moving forward with. So,
no way.
Yeah, just depends.
From texting?
Yeah, Chris, you're a beast.
Who's that, Chris?
Yeah, Chris Tana. Love you, man. You're killing it.
Is that who's doing? Yeah. Oh, go on.
But just finding out what works best for you and then just doubling down on that. And that's exactly what he did. So I really encourage people. Like, I talk to people on consultation calls like, hey, my background's in email marketing. Should I do like cold emails? I was like, well, maybe B2C emails I'm not familiar with, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
Is he a football coach?
He loves football. Yeah, high school football coach. He does a wing tee. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, defensive background though.
He's coming on, I think, as an investor too, for a new LIO investor, certified investor.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, good job, Chris, on getting those deals from texting, and that's what we're saying, guys. Like, budget cannot be an excuse here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need a little bit of a base, but the cool thing about texting and cold calling is now we can, this business model opens up to everyone else who doesn't have $5 to $10 grand to mail. And that's why I love it. And now there's more and more people doing this type of stuff. I'm curious on PPC also. I know this is about texting episode, but I'm curious what budget they're getting and they're putting on PPC. I don't know enough about how the PPC in the land space works to give a good description, but I'm really curious if you guys like comment in the YouTube channel if you guys are watching this and you guys have experienced PPC for land leads.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people that do PPCs. It is going to cost you a little bit of money. It takes like 3 to 4 months just to tweak that correctly to get the right leads coming in.
Yeah.
But
that's what ads are always about, like turning a dial up, turning a dial down, and just optimizing.
So a lot of back and forth. I don't know the overall price range, but we should be getting some good data soon from some students that are utilizing it.
100%. So anyone who's not texting, what do you have to say? Like, do you think if mail's working for them and they don't want to set up their systems, I'm not going to say, hey, like what you're doing is working, so I'm not going to have them completely pivot. But if someone wants more deals and leads, that's when I'm like, how are we going to get more deals and leads? You got to up your marketing.
Yeah. And from a retargeting perspective, this is why I love texting so much. If you're targeting a county, they don't respond, you can put them in another texting campaign, I think within 60 to 90 days from that initial touch point if they don't respond. So you could just keep retargeting that and you have the phone number too. You can cold call them now as well.
It used to be 30 days. Did they up it?
So it could be 30 days. I could be misspeaking.
They change a lot all the time.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And you already have the phone number too. And you could cherry pick like really good deals. And you could just cold call them as well. You just have different options with that.
100%.
There aren't enough people in our community texting.
I agree.
And part of it's on us as far as pushing it more, improving education. But there right now are not enough people texting because there's so many deals out there.
I want to see 50-50. I see too many people coming in with direct mail and they're like, I'm my first mail batch. That's fine. You'll get deals and like you see the deals that people are getting. I'm not saying it's not working, but like to Ron's point.
And you can get like skip tracing's a reason. A lot of people like there's obviously expenses with it, but with the land portal now, you can get 5 cents, right? Is that right? Pretty soon?
Yeah, get 5 cents for the best skip tracing around.
Wow. Yeah, so you have that. So there's really, like, if you're coming in, if you're a member right now and you're not texting, like, really look into it. We'll improve our education around it. I think that's key for sure. But getting set up, there is some barrier. It takes 3-4 weeks to get set up with all the approvals. But once you're doing it, like, you can build a system and it can be a machine. Like with a virtual assistant, it can be a machine and then you just have qualified leads that you're going to talk to.
100%. And out of curiosity, going back to your students, of the ones you say, let's just say artificial number, you have 20. What's the percentage of them texting versus not doing any texting?
Starting off, well, just to answer your question, I would say at least like 70% are texting.
Wow, really?
Oh, wow.
Like a good amount. The only thing is at first they're just getting started. It's going to take like a month to get signed up for launch control. So we're starting off with mailers, but that kind of actually works out from a timing perspective because you're doing that mailer, it hits.
Upload your list. Yep.
Exactly. Then launch control is already set. It's set up at that point. So it's perfect timing for a follow-up. But yeah, if I had to put a number, I'd say at least 70%.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what we want. That's awesome because it's less risk. And then you're not sending out 5,000 mailers your first time necessarily, even though you should. You want to do them both, but depending on your budget, you don't want to go through 100% of your budget, get no results. Texting just gets you that money and strings it out further.
100%. I don't have much more to add.
Anything else to add?
No, me either. This was a good topic. A lot of people have been talking about it lately, so I think there's good value out of it.
Yeah, if you guys aren't texting, make sure to look into that. Get your launch control account, landinvestingonline.com/launch. Get you a free promo or a free whatever. It gives you something with the launch control account. But as always, guys, thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys next episode.
Thanks, guys.
As always, thank you for joining. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and share this with a friend. It really means the world to Ron and I, but more importantly, it could help change the life of someone else. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next episode.